Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Travel and Tourism Podcast, my first season. My guest today and I met in beautiful Club Med Columbus Isle during the 1997-1998 winter season. She was a sailing and windsurf geo when I met her, but then she went on to become a choreographer for many seasons. She was also the chief of animation / choreographer in 2007-2008 in my favorite place in the world, Lindeman Island, Australia. So if you know me, I have to talk to her about that. She went on a family trip to Club Med St. Lucia when she was 16 years old and decided then and there that she was going to become a geo. She started sailing at 12 years old, and she has a degree in journalism, dance, and secondary education. And yes, since I work in a university, I have to talk to her about that as well. From the Lone Star State, please help me welcome the amazing Jenn Simonds. Jennifer, how are you today in the great state of Texas?
I'm very, very good, but my last name is Simonds.
Simonds, God damn it. Of course, that would be different. You know, we were never on a last name basis when we met. Simonds.
No, I don't think anyone knows. My last name is Choreographer. It's not Simonds.
Do you correct people all the time? I'm not the only one that says Simonds, I'm guessing, right?
Yes. I'm a middle school teacher, so yes, all the time.
Simonds. Well, a myriad of apologies for that. Okay.
It's okay.
Jen. Okay. All right. Wow. Well, so before we talk about how we met, because I remember you vividly, okay, from our season in Columbus, Isle. I'd like you to take me back a bit. You know, we said you started sailing at 12. Now, since you're from Texas, I'm assuming there's lots of bodies of water, but what body of water did you learn to sail on?
The Gulf of Mexico. So
really?
My family belonged to a sailing club in Seabrook, which is south. I'm from Clear Lake, which is South Houston, near NASA. And we would go there every weekend and sail just on for the day.
Did you say near Napa or NASA?
NASA.
Oh, okay. All right. Interesting. And then you learned also how to windsurf at that age?
Probably a couple years after I started sailing, I started windsurfing.
You found windsurfing to be much harder, I'm guessing, right?
Yes, but I liked it way, way more. I think because my parents they sailed and I wanted to do something different because I was a rebel.
Well, sure. And once you got your 2 feet in the straps and the harness, then there's no way they were having as much fun as you, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, then you took a family trip to Club Med St. Lucia when you were 16. So do you recall I'm guessing you never ran into any other of those geos that you saw there, right?
I don't think that I remember any of them.
Okay.
I think that possibly Hansel could have been there.
Wow.
I was listening to his podcast, and I think the timeline actually lines up, but I don't really know. I have no idea.
I guess were you mini club?
No, we were
club.
Teen club because I was 16, and we were running amok, and we drank wine at dinner, which was a very
really
rebellious.
In the care of a mini club, Geo?
Possibly. We even actually, I remember we broke into the kitchen with our mini club Geo. Like I would never do that as a Geo. I think I would get shot. Yes. But oh my gosh, we went into the kitchen and we took peanut butter and made a snack and left, which I can't even imagine doing as a Geo.
Crunchy or smoothie?
I like crunchy.
Me too.
Yeah.
Nice. So then you decided, you know what, this geo thing looks pretty good. I'm going to become a geo one day, right?
Yes. I was doing a lot of windsurfing there and trapeze, and I just fell in love with it.
Okay. But as I recall, your very smart father said, well, no matter what, you're going to get your degree first, Jen, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Those are the rules.
Good man. And how did you know what you wanted to study? Or did you know, why pick journalism?
Oh, no, I changed my major quite a few times. I actually went there to be an environmental scientist, and then chemistry got me because I'm not good with numbers.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, yeah. So then I was going to be an environmental journalist, and that's the direction that I went. And then it kind of went into the arts. And of course, my mom was a dance professor, and I did a lot of dance, of course, growing up. And so the dance sort of just happened.
Did you? Okay, so this I did not know. Okay, so you did have a dance background. Now, were you doing modern or tap? What kind of dance were you doing when you were younger?
Yes, I started with ballet and tap when I was a kid because that's kind of what everybody ends up learning. But my mom was a modern dancer, actually with a really well-renowned company for a long time, Jose Limon. And then she was a professor at the University of Houston, Clear Lake. So yeah. So I did I did study, I would like go and take classes and stuff with them just a little bit. And then at the University of Houston a little bit when I was going to university. But I went to Stephen F. Austin State University, which is in East Texas.
Okay. Now, the second you got your, at your cap and gown ceremony, did you apply to Club Med? Like, was it already?
I applied before that.
Oh, before. Okay.
I wanted to go the day after that the day after I graduated.
Okay. So while your cap was still flying in the air, you decided, you know what, I'm going to take off. Okay.
I was getting my passport ready. Yep.
Now, did they call you and set up an interview with you?
Yes, that was back when you had to send a letter and a headshot. And
yes,
I did.
I remember. Okay.
Yes.
And it had to be a certain way, right? Like the picture had to be on top of this. Okay. All right. Now, were you sending it to New York? Do you remember?
No, Sandpiper.
Oh,
so
okay.
My mom and I flew to Florida and I interviewed with Jennifer Steidel in person.
Wait a minute. You're saying you flew on your own dime for the interview?
Yes.
Could they not have sent someone to interview you, or a bunch of you in Texas or California?
No idea.
Okay, so she
that
said
was what I was told to do, so that's what I did.
Oh, really? Okay, so you paid your own way for this interview.
Mm-hmm.
Do you recall the interview?
Yeah, very much. Yes, we were all in Sandpiper. They put us in a conference room. There were like 6 of us, and we got like a little speech, and we watched a slideshow about how it is to be a geo. And then we did the one-on-one interview with our person. And since Jennifer Steidel, I was going into sports because I applied to be a windsurf geo, and Jennifer Steidel was a windsurfer, and so she interviewed me. And the acceptance letter got home before I did.
So wow. Okay.
I think she was actually typing it while she was talking to me. So we stayed and went to Disney World for a little while and then went home. And by the time I got home, the letter was already there.
Okay,
so I got accepted.
So you go back home to Texas. Now I noticed on the map, I looked at, kind of where you are now. So I see that Austin is only a 2.5 hour drive from Corsicana, Texas. So have you ever taught or went to school at Navarro College?
No.
No.
I know of Navarro College, but I have never been.
Are you never seen the Netflix show?
Oh,
Cheer.
I was like, why did I know Navarro College?
Cheer.
Yes, I have seen Cheer several times. I forgot that.
I love that show. Okay. I was just curious if you went there. Okay.
I did not. I went to SFA, which is it's actually somewhat close. It's in East Texas, in Nacogdoches, Texas. And it's kind of similar. I bet the cheer squad is somewhat similar, but it's a 4-year, it's like a full college.
Okay.
That I went to. That college, Navarro, is a junior college.
That's right. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to understand the state system, the American system. All right. So you get home, you find your acceptance letter, and they tell you. Now, did you know anything about Cancun?
No, they told me to wait. I had to wait for quite a while, so I was kind of sitting around for like 4 months, and then.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, what were you doing? Because I think
I had to wait until the season started.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. So it was March, I believe, is when the season switched. And so I waited, and then they shipped me off to Cancun. Now, I did not know I knew it was a singles village, and I was very excited about that. But that's about all I knew.
All right. Do you recall what you were doing in those 4 months? Did you get a part-time job somewhere or just?
I did a part-time job. And then I also, I was taking a lot of dance classes at the University of Houston. And I also started doing pottery, which I still do now. And I was doing a lot of ceramics and taking classes at the university that my mom taught at.
All right. So you get to Cancun and what's it like? Like who's the chief there at that time? Do you know?
Rico Paulette was chief, and I was doing windsurfing. I was teaching windsurfing with 2 other guys, Aaron and somebody, and I don't remember who. And it was very fun.
I just heard they don't have, I thought this was a joke, but they don't have windsurfing currently in Cancun.
That is, yeah.
How sad, no?
Yes, very much so. But they moved, and I just went there last Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And I don't think there's windsurfing anywhere anymore. The sport is not as popular as it used to be. When I was in Turks also, they didn't have it. So I kind of think it might.
Well, I think it's popular, but you and I both taught it. So you know how guests get frustrated when they can't learn windsurfing in an hour, right? I mean, it's you need a good, 2 weeks if, depending on conditions to learn how to windsurf. It's probably the hardest sport to learn. I mean, especially if there's waves and whatnot. So I guess that makes sense. Now, so you're there. Do you remember arriving and like your very first day going to reception? Do you remember all that?
I remember it vaguely. I remember the first week I didn't understand that you had to follow the schedule. I didn't understand because they were paper schedules then, right? We got.
Now wait, is that what you were saying, Jen, or was that, or you really didn't know?
No, I really didn't understand.
Okay.
Yes, I did not understand, and I kept getting in trouble for not being at the right places at the right times because I didn't understand where I was supposed to be. But I got it. I eventually figured it out.
Okay, well, here's the difference between you and I. My first season, I was so terrified of missing something. I actually carried I can't believe I'm going to say this. I carried my program on a clipboard, which was attached to me. I can't think of anything nerdier than that, but you're like, I'm not wearing a clipboard. Okay, so.
No, but they did start making me carry it in my pocket. And I would have to show it to them because I met a guy. That's the way it always starts. I met a guy and he kept distracting me. And then I was.
Got it. Sports geo, no doubt.
Scuba. Mm-hmm.
Oh, all right. There you go.
There you go.
Darn scuba guys.
Yeah. Right?
Now, here's something not so interesting, and I really empathize. I still have a hard time believing this is true. You broke your foot not once, but twice in your first season. How is this possible?
I know. How is it possible?
Okay. And how were you able to stay there, or did you go home and then come back and break it again? What happened?
No, so the first time I broke it, one of Aaron, the other windsurf geo, and had his birthday, and we were of course enjoying the birthday celebration in Casitas, and then I walked, of course, all the way into the village, and then I fell down the stairs right in front of the nurse's office, which is ironic. Cracked my big toe on my right foot in half, like the whole bone was cracking.
Oh.
But I had been imbibing, and I did not feel it totally. And I went all the way up those stairs and had dinner.
Oh no!
I know.
Don't tell me you went dancing after dinner.
No, I didn't. But I looked at the nurse, who was my very good friend Leah, and I said, I think my foot's really messed up. And she said, you need to go home. You look a little green. And then I went, and it was very fractured. And so then I was in a cast for a very long time. And it was one of those like plastic casts, which they don't do anymore for a toe, a plaster cast. And I was on crutches. And Casitas is really far. But they moved me from windsurfing to sailing. So the guys would carry me above the water, throw me on the boat in the morning, and I would teach sailing in a cast on the boat.
Okay, hold up. I'm guessing you didn't want to go home, but how did so many geos get sent home? Like, how did you wind up staying? Like, how's this possible?
I have no idea.
Okay.
But I really wanted to stay, and I was like, I can still work. I can teach sailing. And so they threw me on the boat and I taught sailing.
So they carried you above the water line and dropped you on a Hobie Cat.
Yep.
And then the guests would swim out, I guess, to you? Or okay. And you had a bag over your foot?
Yeah, I did. Mm-hmm.
How did you not get a nickname after this first season of yours?
Right. Okay. I know. And then eventually I got tired of the cast. I sawed it off myself.
Classic Jen. Okay.
Yes. The choreographer was like, okay, you want to do the French can-can? And I was like, sure, I think it's better now. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, no.
This had not been cleared by a doctor. And I was like, okay, let's go. So then I did the French can-can, and my foot was so weak from being in the cast that another bone and then in the upper part of the foot broke while doing the can-can. I finished the can-can and then hit the floor and crawled off the stage. And I looked at Rico Paolete, the chief of village. I said, I think I have to go home now.
Okay, so, now just
I knew that point that it was broken again. And they took me to the doctor the next day. And yes, then by that point I had like 2 or 3 broken bones in my foot. And when I finally got to Houston, they were like, oh yeah, you've got a lot of fractures in here. Yeah.
Okay, question. Was it the French can-can or the techno can-can?
Oh, the French can-can, the 5 minute.
Which the chief of village kept asking, do you want an encore? And then you're like, no. Okay. So, wow, this is crazy. So now how long do you go home for roughly?
Let's see. I have my dates right beside me. I was home from August to October.
Oh, wow. Okay. So when I met you, you had just come off a broken foot, basically, then, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. And so I guess you were convalescing. You can't really work when you're resting your foot and all that, right?
Right.
So we're doing a lot of physio?
A little bit. Not too much, but a little bit. I was in they finally, because I was in the US, I got an air cast, and that was much easier to walk in, and I could like maneuver and do stuff. So yeah, I was better after that.
All right. So when I met you in Columbus, Ohio in 97, I'd already been there like for a year in 96, and they sent me back there. No, I didn't do anything wrong. And I don't recall the first day we met, but I do remember talking to you on the beach one time. Do you want me to tell this story?
You can tell the story. It's very funny.
I remember it. Yeah, I remember it vividly because no one's ever done that before or since. And you made such an impression on me. Okay. So I think that week, and I don't remember who I told, someone might have asked me my pet peeve. And I said, I hate holding things in my hands. Okay. I just have to preface this before I tell the story. I told someone I don't like holding anything in my hands. So I thought this person told you. So I go down to the beach. I say hi to you, there you are in all your glory, your bikini, your blonde hair, I'm like, okay, I'll talk to Jenn. And you say, wait a minute, Greg, here, hold this. And you hand me your camera. And I thought, oh, why did this person tell Jenn that I hate holding stuff in my hands? Now, before I go on, I just want to say what happened next. Everyone in the history of the world, if you're a beach geo or a caveman going to the ocean first time, everyone's done this. Okay. I've done it a million times. Everyone's done this. So you leave me your camera, you go into the ocean to have a swim. And I'm like, I have to do the water aerobic. I'm like, what is she doing? Like I can't compute why you're leave me holding your camera. You didn't ask me to take a picture of you. You just asked me to hold your camera. You go in the water and then you're wading back. And I guess you're about water up to your knees now. And I go, Jenn, what are you doing? I got to go. And you're like, no, I'm peeing. And I'm like, what a card. You're so funny. And you were. Okay. And so then I didn't know what to do. Okay. I looked away, obviously. Okay. And then I went off. So this is, to me, an amazing story because you were so brave, so bold. I didn't know if this was your way of flirting with me. I didn't know what was going on. Okay. I've never been more confused by a woman in my whole life. And I just thought, this is awesome. Okay. And then, are you okay? Did I lose you?
Yeah, that's funny. No.
Okay. Yes.
Sounds like me.
I've done it a million times. Okay. But I never asked someone to hold my camera while I went and do it. But that makes the story so incredible. And I do still hate holding things in my hand. Now, you weren't with us long. Now, I don't recall, so I guess it was that season that you wanted to become a choreographer? So why did you just go be a choreographer before windsurf, Geo? Like, didn't think you could do it? Like, why start sailing and then go choreographer?
That's a good question. I don't think I even knew that job really existed because I didn't know that much about Club Med when I started. So I think that after I saw, it was because I could never do laundry. We didn't have days off, right? And it was so hard to do laundry. And then the choreographer would come by windsurfing and he would windsurf in Cancun. And I was like, wait, why does he have so much time? And then I realized, I was like, wait, he has time to do laundry.
Yes, because he works at midnight when we're all rehearsing, right?
I need that job. So,
okay.
And I've like studied dance all my life. I need to do that. So yes.
Yes. So you left us, though you would come back. For your stage, you did and we knew that. I know this from Ouija Whitmore, who I don't remember for some reason, but I remember you. Okay, and I remember the stage, and you guys went from. I think you did Paradise, Columbus, and Eleuthera, right?
Yes, I was based out of Eleuthera. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, you were based out of Eleuthera. Okay, mm-hmm. And then your first season as choreographer, was it at Xtapa?
Yes.
Okay. Now, how do you convince geos with two left feet like me, or pretending I don't know how to dance when I might? And how do you get them excited to be at rehearsal, which is late at night? Did you have a trick or anything, or people just, everyone loves you, right? So was that the case? They just did anything you asked?
No, I don't think so. I wish.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
No. Yeah. I would just go and bug them on the dance floor if they were supposed to be in rehearsal. I'd kind of do like a little sweep through the bar. It's time for rehearsal. And then hopefully they would come. Usually everybody just came to rehearsals. I didn't usually have to.
Okay. They did. Okay.
Yeah, usually.
Well, the thing is, I never minded. I love dancing. I just didn't I always was saying, why can't we do this in the morning? That was my whole thing, this should be done in the morning. I was too much of a realist or logical, and I would get in trouble for being logical. Okay. Because you want me to memorize intricate dance steps at 11:30 or midnight after a whole day? It didn't seem possible, right? So then I guess choreographers like you would stick me near the curtain, right? To learn the steps during the show, right? Was that a method?
That's a strategy, yes.
Okay.
But then, as people leave, everybody kind of gets moved forward and moved forward. So
yeah, or injured, they get
Mhm.
moved forward. Okay. So did you really, really like being a choreographer?
I did. I loved it. It was so fun.
Do you remember what the first show you choreographed in Club Med?
That would be during my stage.
Oh,
Which
really? Oh, you had to do one during your stage?
we did do 3, yeah.
Which were they?
Let's see, we made a TV themed show. That was from the people in Columbus Isle. We had like 3 groups. It was an interesting stage. I don't know. I don't think they've done that since then. But we were based out of Eleuthera, and I was with a group of 2 other people. So it was Gregory, me, and an Australian girl named Rebecca. And we were bouncing back and forth. So we'd spend 3 weeks in Eleuthera, and then we'd go to Columbus for 2 weeks. All of us would meet up. And there was a group in Sandpiper and Columbus. And then we would all meet up and we'd make their show that they had designed, and we would help them make theirs. And I think the Columbus crew made a TV themed show. So like they would play the Love Boat, and then there'd be a dance about the Love Boat. It was a cute show. I did that one in Ixtapa.
Oh, you did? Okay.
And then the one us in Eleuthera did a dream one. That one was pretty cool. And then I think Ouija did the one in Sandpiper, which was the Alice in Wonderland show. That was a cool show too. But then we all got together and made possibly the worst show ever, and I think it was Godzilla based. And I have no idea
why was I never in that show?
That one was in Paradise Island, and it was ludicrous. I have so many videotapes of all the shows, but
do you have a copy of that?
I bet I do.
Oh my God! Please put it on YouTube. I always wished I was in No, I'm not kidding. Like, of all the French shows I was in, the Can shows, why couldn't I have been in Godzilla? I mean, that sounds awesome. But you didn't. Looking back, you don't like it, right? Is that what you're saying?
It was ridiculous. It just didn't work. I don't think anybody did it. I think it only was done that one night, and then it never happened again. Okay. No, but I was in Eleuthera, with Mike Coleman and his family, which was amazing.
Mike Coleman's from England?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, yes. Nice. And you probably got to do one of the last seasons of Eleuthera because it closed and never reopened, correct?
Yes. Yeah. That's a really cool knowledge.
Mm-hmm. Pink sand beaches and all.
Yes, the most beautiful beach in the world. Everybody always asks you that question, which is the most beautiful beach?
Oh, is that what you say?
Eleuthera. Oh, definitely.
Oh, okay.
Pink sand was incredible.
Now, I see your first trip to Turks and Caicos. You're choreographer. Yeah. You're there for Y2K, I'm guessing, 2000. Yeah. Do you have any JoJo stories before we continue? So I don't want to forget to ask you if you have a JoJo story.
Oh, JoJo. I mean, I saw JoJo a lot. JoJo would come up to the beach and say hi to us. Yeah, and I did a lot of scuba diving there, and every once in a while he would follow the boat on the way back in. Yeah, we saw, and then every once in a while you see him snorkeling, or he's just around all the time.
Did you get certified scuba in Club Med?
Yes, I have my advanced card, and I still dive a lot. I've done over about 600 dives.
Really? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Did you log any of them? Okay.
I logged probably the first 200 or 300, and then I was like, "Why am I doing
this?" Yeah. Even the instructors don't do that.
Yeah.
Too many books. You got to fill them.
I have a lot of books, and I'm like, why do I need?
Okay. Did anything interesting because I know you worked, I guess you would say you worked from Club Med from 97 to 2009. Is that right? I
think I left in 2010.
Okay. Anything in the first half that you want to say, story wise, or I got enough to keep on moving here. It's no problem.
Let's see. I don't even know. Let's see. Kenton Smith, when he fell into the.
Oh yeah. Please tell me that one. I asked this question 2 weeks ago. If anyone has ever fallen into a champagne period and knocked it down, and you actually witnessed this.
Yes. Ixtapa with Kenton. Okay. That was a really magical season. We had the best team. It was incredible. And my costume designer, Simone, and I were standing next to the stage, and he was pouring the champagne, in the big champagne fountain. And then his boot slipped. He was standing on one of those step aerobics that we had built up behind the champagne fountain. And it slipped. His boot slipped on it. And oh my goodness, the whole thing went down. It was loud.
Did he pretend? I know a little bit about Kenton. Did he pretend that he meant to do that? How did he cover that?
I think he was just oh wow.
Okay.
There was
Okay.
just so much
Smooth.
glass that
Smooth. Okay.
yeah, it was like get the kids away from the glass was kind of the main concern at that point because there was so much glass on the floor and it's a stop, but there were kids everywhere.
Yeah,
So
I've never seen that, but I always wondered. I'm sure this has happened in the history. Club had some, but it always gave me anxiety whenever the chief went up on the aerobic step, like you mentioned, and started pouring. I'm like, oh no.
Yes,
So, okay,
that was
cool.
crazy.
Okay, you go to, for some reason, you want to see snow. So you say, I'm going to go to Crested Butte.
that
And
was not my choice, but yes.
okay, yeah, because I see you're not a choreographer there. You're doing yoga and working in the ski shop.
Yes.
What the hell, Jen? What's going on there?
I know. I got sent there to hang out. I decided I wanted to be a circus geo for a minute.
Okay.
And I was there waiting for the stage, and they had me work. I had never seen snow before. And so
well, I'm curious what you thought of snow when you saw
it was like I was a fish on ice. Snow. It was real hard for me.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I did finally eventually learn how to snowboard and I enjoyed it. And I still snowboard today, but it was a rough, that was a really hard transition getting into the snow.
Yeah, and because you like you and I, like we learned to windsurf. Now I assumed my first time snowboarding, I would carve as easily on the water as I do in snow. No, that's not the case. Okay. Yeah. Depending on if you're on really packed granular or whatever. I don't know if you had powder, 3 inches of powder up there, but did you fall a lot on your butt when you were learning?
So much.
Yeah.
So much.
See, at least when you fall in windsurfing, you're falling in the water, right? Like,
yeah.
At one point, we're learning snowboard. You think I can't go anymore because I can't take one more fall on my butt, or I'm going to pass out.
Yep. It was kind of bouncing between my knees and my butt. I just kept falling. Yeah.
All right.
It was a hard learning curve for me.
Now, were you a certified yoga instructor like before you went there?
No.
Okay.
No.
So
I did do a lot of yoga at some point with Jack in Sandpiper. I took a lot of yoga from him. Oh, that was when I was a boutique geo. I forgot about that.
Really?
Sandpiper, for when I was waiting for my choreography stage, I got sent to Sandpiper, and and we only worked like we didn't have a day off, but we worked about 6 hours a day. And I came mid-season, so I wasn't in any of the shows. So I learned how to do yoga and circus because I had all this time on my hands. That was pretty fun.
Okay. And what did you do in the ski shop, if I may ask?
I just worked the like cash register.
Oh, okay. You weren't like waxing skis or anything.
No, I did learn how to wax my board a little bit, but I'm not very good at it. I never actually did that. No.
Okay. All right. And then you're like, screw this. I'm going back to the sun, and they send you to Turks and Caicos, right? In 2002.
Yes. There was a year break there that I took, and I was at home, and then they called me back, and I was about to start school, and they said, do you want to go to Turks and Caicos as choreographer?
Oh no.
Do you want to stay in Houston, Texas as a teacher? I said, bye, I gotta
go. Yeah. Now, do you mean start school? You mean you were going to be a high school dance teacher, or you were continuing your education? What do you mean?
No, I taught a year of high school in 2001, and then I was about to start the next year, and then they called me up.
Okay, so they waved the carrot.
Yeah, okay, the carrot was back in front of me in my favorite village of Turks and Caicos, and I said, okay. And Joey Templin was the chief of village, and it was so fun.
Yeah, his name comes up a lot, and everyone loves Joey, right? He's from Australia, correct?
Yes, Energia. He says that a lot. It's very
fun. Oh yeah, and okay, did he give you a nickname? No,
I don't think so.
No? Okay, it's just Jenn.choreographer.
I think I'm Jenn.choreographer. Yeah.
Was there a season as choreographer, like with the hardest season or village to teach geos how to dance? Like, did you get a lot of like first seasons, or?
No, the first seasons were easy because they follow instruction.
Okay.
That's
true.
Problem.
Yeah, they're worried about getting fired, so they know they have to turn up to everything.
Yeah. No. It's the other half. It's the people who are really seasoned, and they're like, why am I doing this? That's where it starts to get a little.
Did you ever have those nerd geos, as I affectionately call them, that run up to you? They find you at lunch, and you're like, I just got here. I want to be in every show. Did you ever get that?
Yes.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Oh,
does that person ever go on to be a choreographer?
I don't think so. No.
And do you like hearing that, or are you like chill rookie? Or
No,
like,
it's fun. It's nice to have someone with enthusiasm. But honestly, for some reason, those people sometimes are not the best dancers.
okay, so they're at the back curtain with me. Okay, I'm starting to see a pattern here. Okay,
Yeah.
now I asked this of Gabby. Gabby, I don't know if you, Gabby, she was a choreographer as well. And Patchy, like we couldn't figure out how come I always have a thing for the choreographer in the village. Can you explain this to me? What is it about the choreographer?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. Is it the dance thing? I don't know. Okay.
It might be the dance
Or they're
thing.
telling me what to do. I can't figure it out.
I don't know.
Okay. Moving along. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Turks, then you go to Cancun, back to Cancun, the scene of the crime. You don't break your foot here, right?
No, I did not. No.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
You stay away from the French can. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sure I did the French can, but yeah.
So
Kevin, I was just there for like a month, I think, at that point. And I was just interim because they were kind of switching. There was a lot of switching of chiefs of village, and we had Kevin Bat for a month, and then Hendel came in. And I think he took over, and then I left, and I went to Paradise right after that. But we were just doing, I think it was the winter. Yeah, it was December to January. It was like the Christmas break, which of course is the most intense time for choreographers. You do two new shows, one for Christmas and one for New Year's.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, so boy, Christmas and New Year's are the roughest, I always found as a GO, and especially the choreographer, because you still helping out the entire animation team as well, right?
Yep. And they always wanted a new show for both of those holidays. So it was always very intense.
Yeah. Teaching GOs who have had 4 hours sleep. And
yeah.
Okay, I want you to give me a pas de bourrée here, followed by a kick step, chain, and go. Okay. All right. Now, I guess because you had been to Club Med so early when you were 16, I guess you never got any culture shock, right? When you started Club Med,
I mean, Houston's hot, and I don't think I really had culture shock until I went to Japan. I think that was probably.
Yeah. I would like to talk about that, because how did you get to Japan? Did you request it?
No. So Fred DeWantz was the chief of village in Turks and Caicos. And then he and his wife, Rika, who's Japanese, he loved Japan, and he was going back there, and he took a couple of us with him.
Okay. Now is that a ski village?
Yes. So
okay.
But they're open. So the first season was just hiking. So it's summertime, and that was just hiking and lots of trapeze and like summer events. And then you go home for a month, and then you come back and you do the winter season.
Okay. And I'm guessing the majority of the GOs there were from Asia, correct?
Yes, especially the first season. The summer season, I think there were only like 5 of us, gaijin, that's like non-Asian people. And we would go in a bus. One of the people, gestionnaire or the food and beverage manager, had a van, and we would go in there, and we would go to all the different, they had these county fairs, and they had the best corn you've ever tasted. And we would go to all the different county fairs and the beach, and it was really fun. It was really neat to see like the back areas. Sohoro is on a little tiny island up north, and so there's a lot of farms. It's really, really pretty. It's beautiful. I loved Japan. It was really neat.
Now, I guess culture shock, I'm guessing, because you had long, beautiful blonde hair, were people, Japanese guests, coming up to you asking if they could touch your hair?
We would get kids groups in the summertime. We had kids groups, like entire schools would come in, and they would stay for a day and then leave and go hiking and stuff. And the kids did. And there's also Sailor Moon, that character.
Yes.
The anime character. And when I would do my hair in pigtails, and they would dress me up as Sailor Moon, and the kids wanted to touch my hair.
Okay.
I think they really hadn't seen that many
foreigners
people that looked like me.
Okay.
Because it's pretty isolated up there.
So yeah, what other kinds of culture shock do you get in Japan?
I went to the grocery store, and you're trying to buy, soap for laundry, and I couldn't figure out what was for the whites and what's for colored laundry. It was really hard to figure that out, and there was a lot of that. I also got followed a lot in the grocery store by really, really grandpa and grandmas. Because I think that I would have a Diet Coke and laundry soap in my bin and pushing my little cart around, and then I realized that there were grandmas and grandpas following me around. And I think it was
they wanted to take care of you, right? Because all you could afford was a soda pop. But I'm happy to see now that you're a choreographer, you have time to do your laundry. So did it live up to the dream? Did you always have time for laundry? Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Now, were you in Japan for a year?
Yes, I did the full year.
Okay. So I spent a year in Asia. Now, did you ever play the Japanese game Jankan, which is rock, paper, scissors? Did you play that?
Oh, yeah, a lot. A lot of decisions are made there.
But do you like the twists they add to it? Like, even if you win, that you have to do the whole Achimechahoy, follow the finger. Did you do that part?
No, I do not like that part.
Oh, I don't like it either because I always lost. But
yeah,
your instinct is to follow the finger, right? I could never unfollow the finger. Okay. So I lost every bet I ever made. All right.
Oh gosh.
Then you go to Thailand, Phuket.
Yes.
Who's the chief there?
Alessandro.
Okay.
Yes,
Before we get into Alessandro, you have to tell me if you have any crazy monkey stories. Did they steal anything from you?
Oh, they did. We didn't have monkeys in the village, but I did see them. They had them at the Watts, when you go out. And they stole food, yes, from me. I was with my mom who came to visit. My family came and visited. And yes, they came and they robbed us of our peanuts or something. Aggressive monkeys.
Yeah. I went there on vacation when I was in Bintan, and now I must have got, I don't know how many inexpensive pedicures and manicures and massages on that beach. So did you do the same? Because it was incredibly cheap, right? Did you ever do that?
Yep.
Okay. Every day. Okay. Did you like Phuket?
I did. That was fantastic. We had an amazing team. Like Lady was there, Ben Martin, Michael Clark. Like they all ended up being chiefs of village. And yeah.
Oh, sounds like that team was pretty stacked. Wow.
It was an amazing team. And then my costume designers and the whole animation team was amazing. We would have an elephant. We'd have the mom elephant and the baby elephant at the entrance of the restaurant with us. That was crazy. And I would ride in the elephant for the flying trapeze show. I would do Spanish web in the flying trapeze in between the spreaders, like in the net hanging.
Wait, you mean the elephant would go to the?
I would ride the elephant in, and then I would climb up into the net, and then
wow.
Yeah, it was incredible. I loved, and I always wanted the biggest elephant. One time I got stuck on the elephant and I couldn't get down.
meaning he wouldn't kneel. He wouldn't kneel, the elephant.
Yeah, he wouldn't go down. He was just kept doing the tricks.
Okay.
I was very stuck on this elephant for quite a while.
Yeah, they're high up there, right?
They're real high up.
You can't jump off, and you with your history of bad ankles, you shouldn't be jumping off elephants. Okay. That's I think probably the most beautiful restaurant overlooking a pool I've ever seen in that resort. The one, the main restaurant comes over the pool, right? I believe in Phuket.
I don't remember that, but
oh, okay. I have a nice shot of that. Now, were you there for Songkran?
Yes, I was.
And did you get doused with water and flour on that day?
I don't think I did, but I think I partook in that.
Oh, really? Okay, so you were you were handing it out. Okay.
Yeah.
To all the geos that show up late for rehearsal.
Exactly.
Here's a pound of flour in your eye. Okay. All right. Then you go back to Turks and Caicos.
Yes. I was kind of like my home base. I kept going back.
I know I see you went there, 3 or 4 times?
At least. Yeah.
That's good. It is. Yeah, I've only been there once, but that's still, everyone loves that club. There's a whole Facebook group with like 9,000 people devoted just to that club, Ed. Not even run by XGOs. It's just run by people that go there. Then you go to my favorite place in the world. Can we talk about Lindeman Island? Is that okay?
Yes, Lindeman Island.
Who's the chief of village there?
David Mayer. So David was chief in Turks. I had actually worked with him in Eleuthera during my choreography stage. So I'd known them for a long time, he and Kathy. And Kathy was actually my roommate when they met in Eleuthera. And then they were in Turks. And then he took a group of us to Lindeman Island.
And how long did it take you in terms of months to differentiate between the Aussie and Kiwi accent?
I don't think I can.
Oh, okay. Took me 6 months, but yeah, I was.
I don't think I ever did it.
And we're like, we speak English, right? Like, how come I don't understand anything here? And then you learn about the Aussie English dictionaries. And did you ever, did you ever order pizza by plane? Did you ever get that chance?
No, we didn't have that. I would have, I'm sure, but no, that was not an option.
But did you take the plane on your day off to Mackay or anywhere?
I took it when I was shopping for Christmas stuff for the village, and he let me fly the plane.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. I was there a year and he never, okay.
No, he never, like, you want to fly the plane? Yeah.
Yeah, then again, I'm not a good looking blonde haired Geo, but yeah, okay. But I did know enough to, like, if we spent the day in Mackay or Airlie Beach, we always had to bring a burger back for the pilot because he would smell all our food. And if we wanted a smooth flight, we would give him fries. And so that's the only thing that I realized is probably a good thing to do. So you held the controls of a plane. This is what you're telling me.
Yes. That was
okay.
Very scary. The costume designer, Dedi, was an Indonesian guy, was in the back, and his eyes were so huge. It was not very long. I was just flying it.
No, still, I used to brag. I've been bragging for 22 years that they let me drive the ferry from, Hamilton to Lindeman, but you just trumped me in one fell swoop. But
I never did that.
Well, I know, but no, as cool as that was, no, I mean, I've never been behind the controls of a plane, so that, nor did they ever let me sit in the front seat. Okay.
I don't really remember. There was not much option. I think it was a 4-person seated plane. Like, I had to sit in the front.
Oh, no. I'm jealous. I'm happy that you got to do that. You're flying over some of the Whitsundays. I mean, it's probably the most beautiful scenery there is, right? I mean,
yeah,
you have this blue water and these green islands just sprouting up all over it. Did you ever go do the picnic? Was there still a picnic back then in the island in front, Seaforth Island?
There was not a picnic, but David Mayer and I used to windsurf a lot, and there was another guy who would windsurf, and we windsurfed to that beach and like all the way across. I was thinking about that this morning. That's also the same channel. The channel, it's an island, and then there's a little baby island right in front of it, to the people who don't know Lindeman. And then, but there's like a very, very, very deep channel that the whales go through when but also the great white sharks go through.
Yes.
And we would windsurf when there was a side shore wind. We would go out and back and out and back and out and back. Of course, going over that channel. So looking. Yeah,
I
could have gone someplace.
I won't give the name away of my sailing person, but when I was in Lindeman, we on the first full moon we decided to go windsurfing at night. But yes, boy, when you fall in the water there in Australia at night, you're pretty fast back up on that board, I must say. Or my water starts were in milliseconds, not seconds.
Yep.
And since you work there, I have to ask if when you got there on the first rainy night, did Australian geos come up and tell you, Jen, I know you're going to want to, but don't lick the cane toads. So did anyone ever tell you this?
No, I don't remember that. There was a lot of talk of the brown snakes.
Yes.
Yeah, because they were, and I did see one because I used to hike a lot on that island.
Yeah, you'd go up to Mount Oldfield. I guess you climb the mountain to the top.
Yeah, and there was a lot of different paths, and I would just, because it's a nature preserve, so I would just go walk.
And did you like the bush chooks that used to hang around the other restaurant there?
Everywhere, yes.
Yeah.
Those are strange birds.
Yeah, omelet with poop. Okay, I didn't order this.
Oh my God.
What'd you like most about Lindeman, or can you pinpoint the thing you like the most? Is that possible?
I don't know. The team was really fun. We had a lot of fun there, and the team there is really interesting because there's a lot of Australians who go backpacking through Australia. I think I don't know if it's right after they graduate high school or college, but there was a lot of backpackers that kind of would come in and they would work in the mini club. And the mini club chief, Katie, was one of my really good friends, and she was the other American there. And so I would train them, and then they'd be there for about 2 months, and then they would leave. And we were there for a year, excuse me. So there was a lot of turnover of the backpackers.
And were they not, like the Australian and New Zealand guest GMs, were they not the most easygoing GMs that you've ever dealt with until that point?
Yeah. Oh.
It's crazy,
we got
right?
the highest scores in animation. I think we were like third in the world. And I was like, of course we are, because these people are so nice.
Yes, they don't care if it rains. They just, if the bar's open when it's raining, that's good enough for them. I was like, what's going on here? Where have you been all my life?
Yeah, they were great. Yes.
So you do a year there and you go back to Sandpiper.
Yes, David Mayer decides that we're all going to go back to Sandpiper, because I think he got sent to Sandpiper. So he takes a big group of us, the Americans that were there and a couple other people, back to Sandpiper.
And was that cool?
Yeah.
I mean, you could buy all the detergent you want now. You know what's lights from the darks, right? I mean, if you look at it that way.
It was fun. We did have a really, really good circus team. I love circus. And we had Paulito and Katie and it was just really, really fun.
So were you doing circus the whole time you're choreographer? Like, were you learning all that no matter what village you were in as choreographer? Where you kept doing circus shows?
Yes. I started on the Spanish web, because it's always when somebody gets hurt or gets sick, which of course in circus happened a lot. So yes, I started in Spanish web, and then because, somebody didn't want to perform that. And so they needed somebody to do that. And then kind of like duo trapeze, and I was somebody's partner because somebody else had gotten sick. And then at some point we were in Turks and Caicos, and my best friend was Nicole, and she was the circus person, and she got hurt. And Billy, the chief of circus, said, okay, Nicole can stay if you can do the flying trapeze show, because she can still work the board, but we have to have a girl in the show. And so then in a matter of days, I ended up being in the flying trapeze show so that my best friend Nicole could stay. And so I would be happy. And then I just started doing the flying trapeze shows. And then I learned silks from Kate Coleman in Lindeman Island, actually. But that's, Mike Coleman's daughter, who then worked at Cirque du Soleil. But she also started doing circus. She grew up in Club Med. And so then she obviously learned circus in Club Med, and then ended up training a lot in Orlando, and then made it to Cirque du Soleil.
Nice.
Yeah.
And this was Billy Havoc you're talking about?
Yes, Billy Havoc was at some point with me in he was chief of circus when I was in Turks and Caicos, one of those seasons.
Okay. All right. Now, in addition to all the GOs and chiefs you mentioned, I don't want to leave anyone out. Is there anyone else you would like to call out?
Oh my gosh.
Like that you enjoyed working with?
Fun people. I loved working with Alessandro. I think he was my favorite chief of village. And of course, everybody loves Hammer and Julie. Those were great people. I always became really close with my costume designers. I don't know. I love them. And then, of course, I worked with Vlad and JK a lot, and they were awesome. And LP, all the people.
Okay.
I think.
Can we just pivot a little from Club Med for a sec? Because I'm kind of, would you like to tell people or talk about what you do now? Like, I know you're an aerial arts teacher, but also a middle school dance teacher. Is that correct?
Yes, I still teach aerial arts, and I volunteered a flying trapeze rig here in Austin. And I teach a lot of aerial silks, and I teach middle school dance for 6th, 7th, and 8th graders in a public middle school here and I'm actually in Round Rock ISD in Austin, Texas.
Okay. Now, what's the music like? So when you're teaching middle school kids to dance, are you using today's music? I'm guessing you're not doing YMCA, right?
Right. But okay. I have taught them Crazy Signs.
You have? Oh my God. Which ones?
They love Tomake. They don't know what they've learned. They don't know. I would love for one of them to go to a Club Med and come back and be like, Miss Simonds, you taught us Crazy Signs. Yeah. Because they think that they know them as warm-up dances. I say, which warm-up dance do you want to do? Do you want to do chocolate or Tomake? They love Tomake and chocolate. I haven't done YMCA. I guess they could do YMCA. That one's really old. They like the newer ones.
What age is middle school? Sorry, I don't know.
11, 12, and 13.
Okay. All right. So they probably come back from, they go to the Club Med, they're surprised they know the song already. Like, hey, I know this. Okay.
I know. I would love for that. That has not happened yet. I've been there my 12th year and that hasn't happened yet, but I would love it to. I think it'd be so fun.
Okay. That sounds, did you have a favorite Crazy Sign or top 3 or when you were?
I liked Shake It. So my friend Kendall and I made Shake It, but that was a little bit at the end. I like the original Crazy Sign, the actual Crazy Signs.
Okay.
You know that?
Yeah. I know the
original.
one. That's right. Is that the one where you have to do all the hand movements? Or
The
okay.
real hard one.
Well, yeah, when you're learning it, when your first season, learning that one, you think, how am I ever going to get this?
Yeah,
then you're like, oh, don't worry, we're going to do it 5 times a day for 6 months. Okay. And that's how you learn. Did you ever meet any celebrities in your time in Club Med at all? Or memorable ones, I should say.
I know. I was thinking about this. I met, let's see, in Crested Butte. We had country in the Rockies, and I met Brad Paisley because I checked him. I had to check him out for his skis.
Did you? I guess from Texas, you knew who he was, right?
Well, so that was a long time ago, and he was not famous yet. He was.
Oh, really?
Everybody was whispering like, "Oh, he's an up and coming singer. You should really get his." I think I even got his autograph. I mean, I know he signed his papers and stuff, but I think I even asked him for his autograph, and then I think we promptly put it on the wall or something in the ski shop. But yes. And then Jimmy Carter came in, ex-president or President Jimmy Carter and his wife Rosalind. And I did that because he did those fundraisers. I did that in Crested Butte and in Sandpiper. And at some point I ended up working out with them in the gym. They were in the gym and I cruised in there and
you were spotting the ex-president? Is that what you're saying? How much can he lift? I bet it was 225, right?
No, they were on the walking, they were on the little treadmills.
Oh, okay, I see. Well, that's pretty cool.
They were not lifting, no.
Well, they would have had to have a Secret Service present, right?
Yes, they did. Yes. They were all over both times, the Secret Service. Yes.
What are, Jen, if you don't mind telling me, the 3 things you miss the most about Club Med, if you've ever had time to think about it?
Oh, I think about it all the time. I do go back usually at least once a year to Turks and Caicos because I miss it so much. I loved the family, the team of GOs that we had. It was such a family, and I love, if you want to hang out with people, you just walk out your door and you can go hang out with whoever you want to hang out with and have lots of friends to go and do whatever with. I miss that a lot. I think that was really fun. I miss the circus and the flying trapeze and all the sports just being right there that you can go and do anytime.
Yes.
Scuba diving. Yeah.
Yes.
I miss that too. And I miss being able to produce shows because I loved producing the shows. I think in creating the shows. I mean, I still create shows, but with little tiny people. So yeah.
Do you have a favorite one in Club Med, I guess, that you created? Is there one
I do. I created a show called The Red Room, and it was in Turks and Caicos, and it was a combination of Moulin Rouge and Chicago. And then a bunch of people did stuff like it, but I thought I was being original at the time. And we put those together. We were wearing very, very small outfits. It was an amazing show.
Okay. Well, hey, sounds amazing when you mentioned you were hardly wearing anything. Okay. Well, I guess if they were copying you, then, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, right?
So, I know. It's very flattering.
Okay. Well, wow. All right. I don't know what to ask you next.
I do miss the old shows. As I see the shows now, I miss the original Can, and seeing those the old numbers and
Did
stuff.
You like Halloween?
Oh my gosh, I did. I didn't know that Patchy was part of the team that created that. I was just listening to her podcast.
Yeah,
that was one of my favorite shows. And we definitely did it because after they would create the giant shows with the stages, they would send us videos and packets and stuff. And I definitely did that one a couple times. I loved that show. That was a great one.
Okay, current question. Do you ever have a recurring dream where you are back working at Club Med? This has been going on for 10 whatever years since you stopped. Do you ever have a dream like this or no?
No, I don't really dream. That's funny. Lucky. I don't have too many dreams. So I don't think I really have any reoccurring dreams. Okay. That would actually be really nice, but no.
Can I ask you one more question?
Yeah.
Of all the seasons you've done, was there one that stood out? Was there one that was magical, or do you like them all for different reasons? I know you liked Turks, overall, but is there one season in particular that?
The first season of Choreographer was really magical. We were all there for basically the full, I think it was a 10-month season in Ixtapa. And that one, the team we got really, really close. That one, and we still even have a little group chats and stuff. That one was great. And then a lot of the Turks ones, but honestly, I was there off and on so much, I can't even differentiate which season in Turks was great. It was just, they were all great. The ones in Asia were just sort of magical because it was all so different.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I don't know. They were all really, really awesome.
Okay. Now, before I let you go, because you've been so kind with your time, am I forgetting to ask you anything, or is there something you wanted to say about anything?
Gosh, not that I remember. I don't think.
Are you glad you did it?
Oh,
the way you did it, you got your degree and you worked for Club Ed. So would you change anything if that's the way it was supposed to happen?
That's a good question. Since I've been listening to your awesome podcast, and thank you for creating it, it's so fun to hear everybody's voices, like Vlad and people who I worked with for so long, and LP, who I haven't heard from. And I mean, I haven't heard their voice in so long. It's so cool to hear them. Now I forgot the question.
I was going to say, like, so you got your degree, and then you worked for Club Med.
Yeah.
Now you didn't. I don't think you left too soon. Like I did 10 years, and I knew when it was time to leave. So was there anything you would have changed at all, or you would have done it exactly the same way?
Yeah, I had to leave because my mom got quite sick, but that amount of time, I did 13 years. I think I was trying to add it up last night. I think I did 13 years, and that was the right amount. It was time for me to go. I needed to go. But yes, I think no regrets. I loved it. It was, I mean, I don't understand why people wouldn't want to do that job.
Exactly, right?
So, like, why wouldn't you want to be a geo? I know I heard you asking, like, if you would recommend it to other people, like college kids who are just getting out of college. Of course. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't you do it? It's so fun.
Exactly. Take a gap year, do something. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
my gosh.
right?
Yeah.
No, I'm glad I did it for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Because my friends at work ask me what I'm doing there, and they call me an idiot every day for leaving. But anyway,
yes.
But yeah, it's I think we both had a great experience.
Yes. I think that we do need to make like a retirement community of XGOs so we can like go back there.
Oh my God, how crazy would that be?
I know.
Oh my
I think
God.
it'd be so fun.
The bar games and the pranks, and oh boy.
I know. That somebody tell me when that's getting planned, and I'll.
Okay, I'm going to talk to Steve Cohen about this. I'm sure he's got thoughts. He's got thoughts. Yes. Steve, expect a call.
Yes, please. I think that would be really fun.
Well, everyone, that was Jenn Simonds. I got it right this time, right?
You did.
Jenn Simonds from the great state of Texas. Thank you so much again, Jen, for coming on, taking a trip down memory lane with us. Thank you so much.
No worries. It's been awesome. Thank you for doing this, Greg.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm glad you like it. Thank you. Well, guys, we will see you all next week with another installment of my first season. Until then, bye. Say bye, Jen.